Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday morning version of our Wednesday webinar. Today is July 15th, and we are very excited to be sharing with you something new, something exciting, and it is called Strive Conferences.
Woohoo!
I know, it's like we need sound effects, drum roll. I am joined today. This is Joel Adkins, by the way, and I am joined by Paige Parker. There we go. I was waiting for the slide. She's our senior professional learning coach, and Shanna James, who is the product manager over evaluation and professional learning. And I'm Joel Adkins, and my job is now digital learning coordinator. So we are very excited. We are part of the Strive team. And we work with Shanna, who's the product manager, over that part of the application. And so we are former professional development managers in districts. And so when we are talking about Strive and new features, just know we are nervously anxious about sharing this with you today because we are also former PD administrators, and we see how awesome what we're sharing will be used for you and in your district. So bear with us because, again, like I said, we're all very excited. In this webinar, we have the Q&A window, and you are welcome to post questions or comments. We hope we see some woohoos and applause things in there for what we're showing. We're going to be able to view all those comments. You can also view each other's comments and post responses to those as well. So it can be used like as a back channel discussion area. When Shanna is going to be presenting, Paige and I will be back there kind of monitoring and answering any questions that you post as it is going. So feel free to use that for posting your questions and comments. And also just know, we get this question a lot, which is, will I get a link to the recording? And the answer is always yes. So all of our webinars are recorded. The way Zoom handles it is it doesn't send the email out until 24 hours after the meeting or webinar has occurred. However, I take those recorded videos and I stick them up on YouTube, and then I post the link in our archived webinars so you can have access to it. But I can't send an email to you directly. Zoom sends that email with the recorded link a full 24 hours after we record the webinar. So just letting you know in advance. I know we're still going to get the question as it occurs, but all of our webinars are recorded, and then you'll get the link whenever you register for any webinar, whether you attend or not. And with that, all of that, I'm ready to hand it over to Shanna to do the fun part, which is show this really cool thing. Go ahead, Shanna.
Well, I'm so excited to be joining the dynamic duo, as Darlish said. You guys are great. So I always feel a little self-conscious when I join you guys, because you're such a great team and you're like, make it seem so easy. And then I get on here and I'm a little like nervous. There is someone that says they can't see the screen. So I just want to make sure everybody can see my screen here before I jump into this, because I mean, what I'm going to show is like
super. I can see your screen.
All right. All right. Well, here we go then. So this, as Joel mentioned, we have a new feature in Strive. So when you log in now in Strive as a user, you're going to have two separate sections here. You'll have one that has the course catalog that will show all of your regular courses that you see, your e-courses, your standard courses, and school courses. But now we have this new button here called Conferences, and it's completely separate of this course catalog. This is when you want to create an event that is maybe a full day event, and you want to, or multiple days, and you want to organize those. It's at a certain location. This is completely kind of a self-contained professional learning event. So as the participant, when I click on conferences, anything that my district has set up here, I'm going to see them in the list. If I'm registered for some of them, it'll show. If I have something upcoming, and I can actually click in and see the details of that. So I'm already registered here. I'm going to click on this EddyFest workshop. So, or I mean, sorry, conference. Don't want to get confused here. So I click here. I have a register and unregister button here. If I want to register, this is something as a PD manager, this is something that we felt pretty strongly about, because there's, we want to be able to track attendance for a conference. So I may go in and see a conference I'm interested in and register for that conference, but I may not go in and build my schedule already. What this is going to do is this is going to give me as a PD manager the option to see how many people are registered for that conference. So I know if I need to have a bigger venue, or if I need to add presenters or things like that. So, or if I need to, you know, boost my attendance or whatever. So this kind of gives me a good idea. And when I register for a conference, it doesn't mean I have to like go in and you know, enroll in all my sessions right away. But it just kind of gives the PD manager kind of a heads up for how many people I need to prepare for. So, so once I'm registered here, I can see the conference offerings and during the, you know, for the days. So it lists out by the time frame, by the day. You'll notice here's one day, here's the second day. And then I have these filters on the side. This is actually the learning tracks. So when you set up your conference, you can add anything that will help guide. These are just, you know, whatever will help guide your participants to sessions that they're looking for. So for example, if I'm looking for a session on goals, I can click goals and it will show me all of the sessions that include goal setting. If I want to see data, I can click on that and it will show me those as well. So it's a multiple select. So anything I add in here, so I could select, these are all the things that I want to attend, and it just shows me those sessions that are available. When I click into a session, it gives me a little more details here about the session. My time, there's a little calendar icon here, so I can actually add that to my calendar. Notice this is something that I am super excited about. Of course, in this time, you know, that we're living in, a lot of you have made adaptations to existing courses to try to have a virtual option. So we actually built this into our conference to allow to enter a link here, a web link. So if you have a virtual session or that's included there, you can add the link. Any of the credit information, speaker information, and you see these are those learning tracks that are connected, and then the instructors listed here. There's also an option for the location. So I see that information. So if I see a session that I want to enroll in, I can either click and kind of just see what it's all about and enroll there, or I can click this little button if I know for sure and enroll. And it shows me, it gives me a visual clue that I'm enrolled in that session. So another thing that I think is cool here is that it automatically filters out sessions that that conflict, you know, with that time. So if I want to, this is from 10 to 11:30. So when I click enroll, you'll notice here, if I enroll in this course, it will automatically filter out this one because it conflicts with that timing. So, you know, that's one of those things that it kind of closed, and you can move back and forth and you can still go in here and look at it and it'll tell you that it's a conflicting session. So I want to also call out that as we were developing this, our design team set up some interactive sessions with districts, and we called them user experience, and we kind of put this in their hands and talked about, you know, pros and cons, and got some great feedback. So a lot of these things that we have in here are results of those conversations and connections that we had. And so there was one conversation. The reason that came up is, you know, having the option to turn off, you know, the ability for conflicting enrollment. So that's something that, again, we would love to get some feedback on that too. This helps filter that down, but if there is a time that you would want to be able to enroll in multiple sessions or whatever, that's also something we would love to get some feedback on. We also look to enhance this view where you could have some, you know, you could kind of build your favorites where you can star the ones that you're interested in. So that, look for that in a kind of a later, that's going to be in our Cadillac session, or conferences. Okay. So that's basically, I wanted to show you what the participants would see before we dive into what it looks like from when you build one, because it kind of helps you understand some of these things like the learning tracks and that type. So, okay. So I am going to pause here just real quickly and see if there are any questions regarding this experience that we need to address before I dive into the management.
I can say that, you know, we're getting just some questions, and a lot of it's going to be what you're going to show when you're showing the setup kind of things. Mm-hmm. But we're also getting a lot of cheers, a lot of very positive comments, a lot of, I need this last week. So people are very excited, just letting you know.
Well, and to that point, I do want to say, you know, we are delivering this as quickly. We wanted it to be a fully functional, you can set something up and you can, the entire process from setting it up, connecting to locations, people attend, give credit. That will be what we deliver. And then beyond that, we'll be adding some more bells and whistles to it as we move along. But we wanted to get it in your hands. This is timing where you could, one of our districts that we met with, she's like, well, you know, I see this being a great tool for my principals to, when they're back to school, when they're setting up those sessions. So, so we wanted to get it in your hands. Uh-huh.
And Shanna, I just want to make a correction that was made at the very beginning. She's demoing this. It is not out yet. It is coming soon, very soon. I think originally you said you should be able to see this now, but it's, she's showing on a feature side. You don't have access to this yet. It's not something we can turn on for you individually, but just know it is coming very soon.
Like next week. All right.
Whoops.
I said it. I can say it. I can.
Okay, you can say it.
Development was complete as of yesterday, so we are delivering. So
I'm glad you just said it, because I said it in the questions. So
no, I will say it. It is happening. We're excited to get this in your hands. So super excited. All right. So next, notice if I am, and currently, if I am a PD manager, this is the right that is connected to the conferences as of right now and as of our delivery. I'm a PD manager and I have the option to see manage conferences. We'll talk about others in just a little bit. So I see this under settings, I see the option to manage conferences. And then it takes me to a list of conferences that I've already created. I have this little option here to expand, and I can see a little bit more details, the description, the learning tracks. This is another thing that we got some feedback on, what's helpful on this screen. You can sort, if you need to reverse order, you can sort each of the columns here. You have the ability to see how many registered users, how many sessions you have available. You can go in and edit the entire conference. If you have, it only does at this point 5 rows, and then you can search, but you do have a search option up here for your conferences. So these are also highlighted. So when I click on them, it'll take me right into that section, so I can see the sessions or the registered users. So we'll dig into that in just a minute. But I want to start off with just showing you how easy it is to create a new conference. So I'm going to click this button here, create a new conference. And it gives me this kind of blank screen. So these are my conference details that I'm going to enter. And I'm going to start off by having my title. So I'm going to add my title, which is Learning Fest. I'm going to give it a description, join all the learning fun. And then I'm going to set my dates for it. I'm actually going to go ahead. I'm going to choose, well, who wants this conference on my birthday? But my birthday is September 13th. So this is going to be a Sunday conference. So I'm going to choose my dates. And then I'm going to select the locations. Again, this is something that we received feedback. We were excited that we connected, like some of these settings will come from your locations that you have set up in workshop. So in your workshop settings, you've listed all of your locations. Some of the feedback we got was this list is so long because our district is so huge. When we create the sessions, it's a lot to search through. So we added an option on the conference details so you could go through and actually click and select the rooms or the locations that you want your session to be, your conference to be held. So I have only selected these 3 rooms for my location. So now when I build my sessions, I'm only going to see those 3 and I don't have to scroll through the whole list. So once I have those, I've selected those and it shows me what I have selected there. Here is the learning track. So we talked about, how you can add. This is where you're going to add little nuggets for people to easily filter and find what they want to attend. So you can add however many you want, whatever these are. And I think some conferences call them strands, some call them pathways. You could even use them as tags. Anyway, it's going to help you, help your participants find those sessions easier. All right, so these are the basics of my conference. Notice I have not hit save. If I add something here, it has an auto save and it has a little flash there. So as I type secondary, you'll notice there's a little, or it might make a liar of me. But there's a save, it automatically saves. It's like a little flash. But so that is, it's kind of good. I know people, you can click save anytime you want, but it does auto save. So I'm going to click on sessions and now, oops, I go back here. Somehow it jumped me a day. I don't want to do that. I really want it to be, yeah, I saw it saved there. All right. So now I've got 2 days here. When I come into to build my sessions, I can either click the button up here to add a session, or I can click in the time slot that I want the session to happen. So I click there, and then I could have reading strategies, and then it already fills in the date and the start and the end time, and then I could say reading, I have a problem. Reading is fun. And then I can select my location. And then if in workshop, if you have in your locations, if you have a max attendees set, it will actually honor that and it'll populate that in there. But if you want to change it and you're like, oh no, we're social distancing, so we can only have half capacity, so it's 15, you can change that as well. Your credit types will also pull from workshop, so I can go in and pull in as many credit types as I want here. Let's see, what do I have? I have reading. If I have a let's say it's a GT or whatever. So I can go in and add my credit types, and then I would click my learning tracks that I want this to coincide with. And then I can select my instructors. So instructor is the same thing. It pulls from that list. So if you have a big long list, you know, you may, you know, that's kind of annoying, but watch what happens if I start typing. It automatically has the smarts to say, oh, okay, this, and it will, so if I search for it, it will narrow down that, that list there. So I add my instructors. If I think, oh, Nancy's gonna do it, oh, Nancy got sick, I just click the X and it goes away. So, so that's created my session. It went into the space where I chose right here. So now I have a session here. Again, if I wanted to click add a session, it would do that. And then I just have to fill out all the details of when that happens. So that's the difference. And it just kind of automatically pops in here. But very cool, if I said, whoops, that's not where I want it to happen, I can just drag it over here, drag and drop, and it automatically adjusts. So then I can go in here and say math session. And it saves that. All right. So easy, cool, easy way to do that. When I go here to my publish, I can actually select the dates. When do I want my users to see this? So I may say, publish my conference today. I want them to see it today, but I don't want them to be able to enroll in it just yet. You know, it's just upcoming or whatever. Or I can say I want them to enroll now, and I can also cap my enrollment. So let's say my thing is the 13th. I may want to say, let's cap it at the 7th or something. I mean, you know, however you want to do that. This last tab here is the Attendees tab, and these are the conference attendees. So as I mentioned, as your participants register for the conference, it'll show up here in this list. And so you'll know how many people are attending the conference. And it's completely separate of the session attendees. All right. So I'm going to jump back over here. That's how easy it is to create one, but I'm going to jump back over here to show you one that I've already kind of put a lot of time into creating, so we can kind of dive into some of the other features. So as I said, these links take you right to the information. So I have 3 registered users here. When I click on this, it's going to pop up the view of my registered users. It's taken me a little second. So these are the people that are registered. I'm going to go back here to that, and when I click on my sessions, it'll take me into my sessions. So, all right, so this is a view of, I've got quite a few sessions created in here. So this is my view of the calendar by the days of my conference. If I had more days, there would be a little arrow where I could click through those. But as I'm planning, I can just, you know, add, click in my spot and add. So even if I have 2 things here, when I click here, it will open up for that time. 3rd session. Saved for me, so then it pops in there. So one of the things that, you know, you can definitely tell is it gets a little crazy. We don't have the little expand when you float over it in there yet. We do plan to do that, but we do have a search. So even when I don't even type the whole thing, it'll start pulling it up. So I can actually search and find, you know, my session. So if I'm looking for aware here, it automatically pops up all those sessions, and I can either click and open it, or if I see, oops, I've got a duplicate here, I can click and drag this over here to a different time, and I can do whatever. I can open it up or whatever. So that's just kind of a way, again, searching and finding the sessions and organizing. All right. So I'm getting ready to do something that's going to blow your mind. I am super excited, as Joel said, as a former, person that handled PD management. My favorite view in planning a conference was a location view. So we have a location view now that I can, by whatever room it is, look at the sessions that I have offered. This view kind of makes my head hurt a little bit because there's so much, but if I come here, I'm like, all right, here we go. It shows by the location, and then instead of I can click through the days. So this is my Monday schedule with my 4 rooms, and then I can go and here's my Tuesday schedule and my Wednesday schedule. So I can from here kind of move things around. So look, I have a major problem right here on Thursday. I've got 3 sessions that I'm trying to use the same location. So I can click and drag and move it. I can have it a different time. So I can move it, again, wherever I want to do that, and it will automatically update those, that information. So super excited about that. Now, here's the other thing that, that I think is cool. I'm going to come back over here to this view, and I can, student portfolios, I want to have more than one session of student portfolios. That's a really good session. So I want to include more options of that, right? So now up here next to the save button, I have an option to duplicate the session. So I could say, duplicate this, and it will automatically grab all of that information. So and then it says copy of student portfolios. I can even click duplicate again, and then it'll say copy of copy. And I can do it as many times as I want. And what it does is it actually puts it in that same time slot, but I can then take it from here and I can move it to a different day. So let's say I want to offer one every day, but then I can move it around. And then after I do that, I may want to, I want to go in and not call it a copy, so I can take that copy off. So this is an easy way that you can do that. Now, if you have the same person teaching, then you can leave everything the same. You can say, nope, Nancy's not going to do this. I'm going to have Joshua do this. And you can swap the details out once you get there. But it just makes it super easy for you to just say, this is the same exact session. I'm going to offer it multiple times, duplicate it, and there it is. So I also, the one thing I haven't touched on yet here, we talked about locations. We have not talked about the virtual session link. So a virtual session link is, you can use your Google Meet. Basically, it gives you a message when you try to enter it. It will need to have, and it's holding that, I can't see that because it's holding my memory, but there's like a little thing here that says, let me see. Oh, there we go. So if I try to just do meet.google.com, it gives you the thing and it says, make sure it contains HTTPS. So if you're copying, pasting a Zoom link or a Google Meet or whatever, you just need to make sure that it has that HTTPS in front of it, and it gives you a reminder, and google.com or whatever, and then it'll take that link. So so again, that is that virtual option. One thing to mention about this is that it does not show that link until a participant enrolls in that session. But right now, that's all that we have around when can they see that link. They can only, once they enroll, they can see the link. So anyway, okay. So I'm going to show you now a little bit of what it looks like. So here's my session. Here is what it looks like for the attendees. So in the attendees, as people register, it's going to show them, and then I can click here. This is just kind of a little quick view. Then I can click here and it will open up and show, these are all my session attendees here. And then I have options to search, mark them present, and then grant credit. This conference is not until August, so it's not letting me see that. So I'm going to jump over here real quick because I purposely made a one so I could show you what it looked like. So here's my attendee. So it's not a list, but again, here's my toggle if they're present, and then I would click grant credit, and then it says, you know, are you sure? And then it shows credit earned. Okay. This part of it, taking attendance, is something that we're definitely going to continue to iterate and improve on. So I will talk about that as well in a little bit. So, but that's basically how it works. That's my conference. I kind of ended on a dull moment there, but anyway, I want to stop and see what kind of questions or things have people.
We've had lots of positive comments.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a couple questions about attendance and whether or not you can upload a list of attendees.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So right now, and again, I am saying this is we want to get this in your hands. We have some things that are coming as we, whoops, sorry. There we go. We have some things that are coming as after we push this out, we'll continue to add additional functions and features. And right now, the individual will register themselves. So one of the things that we've talked about that is you could, if I have a session here that I want somebody to attend, I could just click that and I could email them that link and they could get that link and they can enroll. So right now it's all like completely individual based. We do have plans for the PD manager to enroll people, enroll 4 people, if that makes sense. So I could go into my attendees and I could actually enroll everybody, and you know, upload a list or whatever. At this point, it is all completely individual. The individual manages their enrollment, their unenrollment in the conferences. But that is definitely something that I see that we have coming. We also have options for collaborators. When we chatted with districts about how you plan your conferences, and plus we all know how you plan your conferences, especially if you have something like a very big summer, lots of sessions, multiple days, you as a PD manager, professional learning manager, cannot manage all of that on your own. So we've all seen it. We've all used the spreadsheets and we have the spreadsheets. We definitely, there's 2 things I want to say. One, we would love to create a collaborative environment so you don't have to use a spreadsheet, that you guys can invite collaborators to your conference and everybody can do it right there. And then we also have uploading a spreadsheet as an option as well. But we really love the idea of having that collaboration like in the actual application itself. We also have gotten a lot of good feedback about different types of reporting and insights that you guys are interested in. So that is also something that we have on, you know, as kind of up next things. And then also attendance options. Right now, the attendance for a session is exactly like it is as in a workshop course. So if the person is, it's assumed that the person is present unless you mark them absent. And when you click the credit button, it will automatically give everybody credit. We would, you know, definitely looking into options for self-check-in, like a code type thing as attendance. This is one of those things that is a little tricky now, especially when we're looking at a lot of our professional learning being in a virtual environment. I think that's definitely a challenge in itself, is how do you manage those attendance things. So those are just some things, once we release this, it is not the end, absolutely. And on top of that, I think the most exciting part for me is that what we have done so far with conferences and this new look and this ease of creating a session, I want you all to imagine, if you will, this is the foundation of creating workshops. This is the work. So, we haven't updated what it's like to create a workshop, or a course in workshop, but we kind of have, because this is the foundation of that. So we're going to take a lot of those things and kind of do some, when we update, what that experience is, updating what surveys that experience is, updating what, some of those other things that are, definitely due for updates. So I'm kind of rambling now. So any other questions that came up that
I think most of the questions that we have coming up right now are about things that are on this future list. We had some questions about reporting. We've had some questions about self-check-in. So those are things that are coming in the future, but not in this initial rollout.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. This is something that, again, coming from a district, I know it's like that, understanding that the process of development, and basically once we get it out there, it'll be so easy for us to make little updates along the way. So I'm excited about that. We've been, I know our team, our Strive team has been working really hard on this feature, and in the middle of it is when we were like, whoa, virtual, when we release this in the summer, people aren't going to be doing face-to-face. So hopefully with that virtual option, that will help at least getting it in your hands so you can start playing around with it. Definitely looking forward to any feedback you have. So this has been a great process, especially working with the districts that we have, chatted with, and it's been very, very helpful. So.
Hey, Shanna,
Yes.
just as part of the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to talk a little bit about how the development of this may impact future development of workshop settings in Strive?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying. This is basically the foundation of that. So, I mean, I see when in workshop settings, whenever I go in here to create a workshop, I see it looking very similar to this as opposed to what we have. So,
and we have had some questions. Several people have asked if the virtual session link would be in workshops now, and it is not, but that's something that we do see in the future.
Right. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this is the time that we're going to take this, and as we build out what workshop looks like, it'll be very similar to this. But I mean, I don't think any one of you want us. I mean, it's trying to update something and spend our development time towards the older code. I'd rather just get the new stuff out there. So this is much easier.
Very clean look, and I think it's going to be very intuitive.
I hope so. So, all right. So moving on, I think I already did kind of the final questions, but.
Yes, you did. So we've hopefully answered questions, and of course you all know that you can get in touch with us by emailing training@eduphoria.net if you have questions, more detailed questions or questions after we're done for the day. So just reach out to us. We do have several. Go ahead, Joel.
I was also going to add, so in the email that you'll receive tomorrow, 24 hours after the recording, I'm going to include the link to this recorded webinar. I've also made a short video that just kind of pops up and shows the features that Shanna covered. I think it's like 5 minutes long. So if it's something that you want to share with someone on your team, or they don't need to watch this whole webinar, they can. just have that link to that video. It's just like a quick overview of all the features within Strive conferences for you. I'll put that in the email, so you'll have that link.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, we do have some other webinars on the schedule that we wanted to remind you about. The next two will be about Aware. There's been some updates to Aware and some updates to Teacher View, so tune in for those. We also have one about getting your goals ready for next year in Strive, so hopefully that will be timely for some of your teachers if you want to share that information with them, or if you just want to attend and then share the information after the fact with your teachers. And then we also have one about the updated framework, and Shanna, if you'll click over, just to let you know, there is a new TPES framework or rubric that the state has put out there. It is not required until 21-22, but we do have some districts that have decided they want to go ahead and jump in now. And so we have put some things together. We have a section out there, an article about setting up for the new TPES, and then we're doing the webinar on August 12th, and we'll walk through that process of creating that framework. The new TPES does differentiate between principals and assistant principals, so the documents will be different. We've already created those documents. They're out in the community. The article walks you through getting that set up, and then we'll also walk through that entire process on August 12th with that webinar. And you can also email us for questions. And then we always like to remind you to keep in touch with us. You can, if you're not already receiving our newsletters or emails, you can go and register on our website and add your email in there, and you'll be getting messages from us. You can also, well, to get to that, you can go to the help section under announcements and click on how can I receive announcements, or you can also go to eduphoria.net and go to the news page. Both of those directions will lead you to that little form where you can sign up and get our emails. And then you can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We try to post when things are happening so that you'll know about webinars or about anything that we have going on. And that's it for today. There we go. Have a great week. So we do have another webinar going this afternoon. It's Strive Begin with the End in Mind. So it's going to go over some of those things that you need to think about in setting up your Strive in order to get the data out of it that you want. That will be at 2 o'clock today. And we hope to see some of you then. And we hope the rest of you have a great week.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on this Wednesday morning.
And thank you, Shanna, for showing us a great new product. We're excited.
And also thank you everyone for the comments. Just know we do look over all the comments afterwards. So all of your posts of thank yous, we're going to share with Shanna, of course, and then the developers as well. And then also those ideas that you shared, kind of like feature requests, we'll also have those as well. So again, thank you all for joining us and participating, and also for sharing your excitement. We are very excited as well.
We do appreciate the feedback, especially the good stuff.
Yep, for sure.